In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1987 Washington quarter dollar with the large date and D mint mark. Specifically, we'll discuss its value in extra fine condition and how much it can fetch in today's auction market. Spoiler alert, this coin might be more valuable than you think. First, let's talk about the design and history of the 1987 Washington quarter. This coin was part of the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The obverse of the coin features the iconic profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Above Washington's portrait, you'll see the word Liberty. And to the right, the motto, "In God We Trust." And of course, the year 1987 is prominently displayed at the bottom of the coin. One of the key features of this coin is the large date. In numismatics, the term large date refers to the size and spacing of the numbers in the year, which are more prominent compared to the small date varieties seen in some other coin years. For collectors, this detail can be significant. Now let's flip the coin over to the reverse side. Here, you'll find the classic design of an eagle perched on an olive branch, its wings spread wide, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle is the inscription, "United States of America," while below, you'll see the denomination quarter dollar. The mint mark, located just below the wreath on the reverse, is a key identifier for this coin. In this case, we're focusing on the D mint mark, which signifies that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint produced a substantial number of quarters in 1987, but coins in excellent condition are becoming harder to find as time goes on. Condition is everything when it comes to valuing coins, and this is where the term extra fine condition comes into play. Coins in extra fine XF condition are well preserved, showing only slight wear on the highest points of the design. For the 1987 Washington quarter, this means you'll notice minor wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, but the details remain sharp, and the coin retains much of its original luster. Let's take a closer look at an example of an extra fine 1987 Washington quarter with the D mint mark. As you can see, the details on Washington's profile are crisp, and the lettering and date are bold and clear. This level of preservation makes the coin highly desirable to collectors. Now for the part you've been waiting for, how much is this coin worth in today's auction market? In general, 1,987 Washington quarters with D mint mark aren't considered rare because of their high mintage numbers. However, coins in extra fine condition are a different story. Currently, in auctions and online marketplaces, a 1987 Washington quarter with a large date and D mint mark in extra fine condition can sell for $70 to $150. While this might not seem like a fortune, it's a significant premium compared to its face value of just 25 cents. And for collectors looking to complete a set of Washington quarters, finding one in this condition is worth the investment. If your coin has additional features like eye-catching toning, attractive color shades, or has been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC, it could fetch even higher prices, sometimes up to $200 or more. Grading not only adds credibility but also attracts serious collectors who are willing to pay a premium for coins in verified condition. So, why should you pay attention to the 1987 Washington quarter, even though it's not the rarest coin out there? Well, coins like this offer a great entry point for beginner collectors. They're affordable, historically significant, and have the potential to appreciate in value over time. As older coins like this become scarcer in excellent condition, their desirability increases, which can drive up prices in the long run. To sum it up, the 1987 Washington quarter dollar with the large date and D mint mark in extra fine condition is currently valued at around $230 to $250 in today's auction market. Coins with professional grading or unique visual appeal can go for even higher prices. It's a fantastic addition to any collection and a reminder of how small details like condition and mint marks can make a big difference in a coin's value. Next up, the 1989 Washington quarter dollar with the large date and the D mint mark, especially in uncirculated condition. We'll go over everything you need to know about this coin's design, its history, and most importantly, its value in today's auction market. Spoiler alert, this coin could be worth a lot more than you think, even though it's from a relatively modern era. Let's start with the basics. The 1989 Washington quarter was part of the long-running series of quarters first minted in 1932 to honor George Washington. The design was created by John Flanagan, and it's remained largely unchanged over the decades, except for the occasional design updates and modifications. The Washington quarter is one of the most recognizable and widely collected U.S. coins, and it continues to captivate collectors even today. One of the most important features of this particular quarter is the large date on the obverse, which refers to the prominent size and distinct styling of the numbers in the year. If you compare the large date to the smaller date variants from the same year, you'll notice the numbers in the large date are larger and spaced differently. This is the type of small variation that really excites collectors, as even the tiniest differences can affect a coin's value. While the 1989 quarter is not necessarily rare in large numbers, finding it in uncirculated condition can be a different story. On the front, or the obverse side, we have the iconic portrait of George Washington. Above Washington's head, you'll find the word liberty, and to the right, the phrase, "In God we trust." At the bottom, the year 1989 is prominently displayed. But here's the key detail. Look at the mint mark. On this specific coin, it's the D mint mark, which means it was struck at the Denver Mint. This is an important detail for collectors, as the Denver Mint is known for producing significant numbers of coins, but finding one in uncirculated condition is what makes this coin more valuable. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic eagle design, perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace. The reverse is inscribed with United States of America, and below the eagle, you'll find the denomination quarter dollar. Now, let's talk about condition specifically. What makes a coin uncirculated? An uncirculated coin is one that has never been in circulation, meaning it has never been used in daily transactions. As a result, it's preserved in nearly perfect condition, with no visible wear or damage. The details on the design remain sharp and crisp, and the coin often has a brilliant shine. Coins in uncirculated condition are always more valuable than those that have been circulated, simply because they're rarer and represent the highest quality a coin can be in. If a coin has been in circulation, it's going to show signs of wear, such as scratches, scuffs, or fading. But an uncirculated coin, like this 1989 Washington quarter, retains its original luster and quality, which is why it's highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. Now, the big question: how much is the 1989 Washington quarter, with the large date and D mint mark in uncirculated condition, worth today? The answer might surprise you, especially when compared to its face value of just 25 cents. In today's auction market, you can expect an uncirculated 1989 Washington quarter with the large date and D mint mark to fetch anywhere from $15 to $30, depending on the coin's precise condition, such as its grading and the presence of any unique characteristics. Coins that have been graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC and have received a high grade, such as MS 65 or higher, can command even higher prices, sometimes up to $50 or more. However, this value is not static. It fluctuates based on factors like demand, the overall health of the coin market, and specific coin attributes. But one thing's for sure: the 1989 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition is much more valuable than its face value. Let's take a quick moment to compare an uncirculated coin with a circulated one. Here, you can see a circulated 1989 Washington quarter. Notice the wear around the high points of the design, on Washington's profile and the eagle's wings. This is the kind of wear you'd expect from a coin that has been used in daily transactions for decades. On the other hand, the uncirculated version is pristine. There are no visible signs of wear, and the details are sharp and fully intact. It's almost like the coin has just been minted. So why should collectors and investors care about coins like the 1989 Washington quarter? Well, first of all, it's a great entry-level coin for new collectors. It's relatively affordable and can be a fantastic piece to start building your collection. Moreover, coins like this 1989 Washington quarter tend to appreciate in value over time, especially as they become harder to find in uncirculated condition. Next up, the 1970 Washington quarter dollar. Specifically, we'll focus on the version without mint mark and fine condition. You might be thinking, isn't the 1970 Washington quarter just another coin from the 1970s? Well, yes and no. While it's a relatively common coin, the absence of a mint mark and the condition it's in can make a huge difference in its value, especially in today's auction market. So let's break it all down. How much can you expect to pay for this coin, and what makes it stand out in the market today? First, let's take a close look at the 1970 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, as many of you know, was introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Its design has remained largely the same, featuring Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. The 1970 version is part of the regular series, but there's something a little different about the coin we're focusing on today. It's the no mint mark variety. In 1970, the U.S. Mint struck quarters at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Usually, quarters from Philadelphia are marked with a P mint mark, but in 1970, the Philadelphia Mint issued quarters with no mint mark at all. This makes the 1970 no mint mark Washington quarter a bit more distinctive when compared to the quarters from Denver and San Francisco, which do have mint marks. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The inscriptions include Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the right, and the year 1970 at the bottom. No mint mark is present, making this coin stand out from others from the same year. This lack of a mint mark makes the coin slightly more intriguing to collectors. But don't be fooled. This doesn't make it a super rare find. It just means it's a unique example from that year, and collectors love hunting for these subtle distinctions. On the reverse side, you'll find the traditional design of a bald eagle perched on an olive branch, with the words United States of America above and $quarter below. The eagle represents strength and the olive branch peace, a classic symbol of America's values. Before we get to the value, let's talk about the condition of this 1970 Washington quarter. We're specifically focusing on coins in fine condition today. But what does that mean? A fine condition coin shows noticeable wear, but the major design elements are still legible. In the case of the 1970 Washington quarter, you might see a bit of flatness on the high points of the coin, but the details of Washington's face and the eagle on the reverse are still clearly visible. There could be some slight scratching or discoloration due to circulation, but overall, it maintains decent sharpness in the design. Fine condition coins are generally more affordable than higher grade coins, but they still hold value due to their collectible nature. And this is where the value of the 1970 Washington quarter starts to show its potential. In today's market, a 1970 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in fine condition, typically sells for $15 to $40. The price can fluctuate depending on the demand, the specific characteristics of the coin, and the auction house. But the range generally stays within this price bracket. Now, you might be wondering, why does it have value if it's a relatively modern coin with no mint mark? Well, that's because collectors value the small distinctions and the quality of the coin. Even minor variations like the absence of the mint mark make coins more appealing to those who specialize in collecting different types of quarters, especially when they are in decent collectible condition. Furthermore, even if this particular coin doesn't skyrocket in value in the near future, the Washington Quarter Series, in general, has a loyal following. The more complete your collection, the more valuable it will become in the long run. And as with any collectible, holding on to these coins could yield a profitable return down the line. To summarize, the 1970 Washington Quarter, without a mint mark in fine condition, is valued between $85 and $100 in today's auction market. While it's not a rare or super expensive coin, it's definitely a unique and affordable piece for collectors, especially those who appreciate the small differences that make certain coins stand out. If you're a collector looking to add this coin to your collection, Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark. Specifically, we're going to focus on its value in good condition and what it's fetching in today's auction market. If you've got a pile of old quarters lying around, you might want to check for one of these coins. It could be worth more than you think. So, stick around as we explore the history, unique characteristics, and current value of the 1967 Washington quarter. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. The obverse features a profile of George Washington, while the reverse showcases an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. Now, why is the 1967 Washington quarter so interesting? For starters, it was minted during a significant time in U.S. coinage history. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint removed silver from most circulating coins, including the quarter due to a rising demand for silver and increasing production costs. By 1967, the Washington quarter was being struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, which replaced the 90% silver content used in earlier years. This change marked the end of an era for coin collectors and investors alike. One important detail about the 1967 Washington quarter is that it has no mint mark. Now, before you get too excited, let me explain why. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily suspended mint marks on coins. This was part of an effort to discourage hoarding during a coin shortage at the time. So, every quarter produced during these years, whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, was issued without a mint mark. While the absence of a mint mark might not indicate rarity for this particular year, collectors still value these coins for their historical significance and the role they played in transitioning U.S. coinage away from silver. In numismatics, the condition of a coin is graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in good condition shows significant wear from circulation. On the obverse, you might notice that Washington's hair details are mostly worn down, and some of the lettering could appear faint. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers may also be heavily worn with only the basic outline of the design remaining visible. Despite the wear, coins in good condition still hold value, especially when they're tied to a historically significant period like the one we're discussing today. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much is a 1967 Washington quarter without mint mark in good condition worth in today's auction market? Well, the good news is that these coins do have value beyond their face value of 25 cents. In good condition, a 1967 Washington quarter typically sells for $100 to $110 in today's market. While this might not seem like a fortune, keep in mind that this is just for coins in lower grades. Higher grades like very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated can fetch significantly more. Additionally, if the coin has any unique characteristics, such as errors, die cracks, or doubling, it could be worth even more. Error coins from this era are especially popular among collectors, so always check your coins carefully before assuming they're ordinary. So, how can you maximize the value of your 1967 Washington quarter first? Inspect it closely for any unusual features. Look for doubling on the lettering or numbers, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These kinds of errors can dramatically increase the value of your coin, even if it's in lower grades like good condition. Second, consider getting your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. While grading can be an investment, it's often worth it for coins that could be valuable, as it provides buyers with confidence in the authenticity and condition of your coin. To summarize, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a fascinating piece of U.S. coinage history. While it's not a rare coin, its historical significance and the story behind its production make it a worthwhile addition to any collection. In good condition, these coins are valued between $125 and $130 in today's auction market. However, always keep an eye out for error coins or better grades, as those can significantly boost the value. And remember, even common coins like this can become valuable over time as their numbers in circulation decrease.